Space, the final frontier. For decades, it has captivated our imaginations. We've gazed at the stars, dreaming of what lies beyond. Now that dream is becoming a reality. Space tourism is no longer science fiction. It's happening right now. And it's set to become the next big travel trend. Imagine floating in zero gravity. Picture Earth as a blue marble beneath you. Envision the curve of our planet against the blackness of space. These experiences were once reserved for astronauts, but not anymore. Private companies are making space accessible to civilians. They're opening up a whole new world of travel possibilities. The space tourism market is growing fast. Experts predict it could be worth $3 billion by 2030. Companies are racing to capture this market. From suborbital flights to space hotels, the options are expanding. As more people experience space, our understanding of Earth will change, and that could have profound implications for our future. Space tourism isn't entirely new. It has roots in the early 2000s. Back then, a few wealthy individuals made headlines. They paid millions to visit the International Space Station. These trips were rare and extremely expensive. Only 7 people made the journey between 2001 and 2009. Dennis Tito was the first space tourist. He flew to the ISS in 2001. His trip cost a whopping $20 million. He spent 8 days in space. Tito's journey sparked global interest in space tourism. It showed that civilian space travel was possible, but it was still out of reach for most people. After Tito, a handful of others followed. They included entrepreneurs and scientists. Each paid enormous sums for their cosmic adventure. These early space tourists paved the way for what was to come. They proved there was a market for civilian space travel. But these early trips had limitations. They relied on government space programs. Enter Virgin Galactic. Founded by Richard Branson, this company has big dreams. They want to make space tourism a reality for more people. Their approach? Suborbital flights. These trips don't go into full orbit around Earth, but they do reach the edge of space. Virgin Galactic's spacecraft is called Spaceship Two. It's a reusable space plane. It's designed to carry 6 passengers and 2 pilots. The journey begins attached to a carrier aircraft. At about 50,000 feet, Spaceship Two detaches. It then fires its rocket engine. This propels it to the edge of space. Passengers on Spaceship Two will experience several minutes of weightlessness. They'll see the curvature of Earth against the blackness of space. Virgin Galactic has faced challenges, but they've also made significant progress. The price? A cool $250,000 per seat. Blue Origin is another major player in the space tourism race. Founded by Amazon's Jeff Bezos, this company has ambitious plans. They're not just focused on suborbital flights, they're looking further into space, and they're doing it with reusable rockets. Blue Origin's New Shepard spacecraft is their ticket to space tourism. It's a fully reusable vehicle. This means lower costs and more frequent flights. New Shepard can carry 6 passengers. It launches vertically like a traditional rocket. But both the capsule and booster return to Earth, landing separately. Passengers are strapped into seats for the entire journey. They experience about 4 minutes of weightlessness, and they reach slightly higher altitudes. Blue Origin has already conducted several crew test flights. They're also developing a larger rocket called New Glenn. This could potentially take tourists even further into space. Section 5, Orionspan Luxury in Low Earth Orbit. Now let's talk about Orionspan. This company is taking space tourism to a whole new level. They're not just offering brief trips to space, they're planning to build a luxury space hotel. It's called Aurora Station, and it could revolutionize space tourism. Aurora Station is designed to orbit Earth. It would host 6 people at a time. This includes 2 crew members and 4 guests. The planned stay? 12 days. Guests would experience 16 sunrises and sunsets every 24 hours. They'd have constant views of Earth below. Inside Aurora Station, guests would float in zero gravity. They'd conduct experiments. They'd even grow food in space. It would be like staying at the International Space Station, but with more luxury and comfort. The price tag? A cool $9.5 million per person. Orionspan's project is ambitious. It faces many challenges. Section 6, SpaceX and Boeing, the commercial space race. SpaceX and Boeing are also key players in the space tourism game. These companies are working with NASA. They're developing spacecraft to ferry astronauts to the International Space Station. But they have plans for space tourism too. SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk, has big dreams. They've already sent civilians to orbit. In 2021, they launched the Inspiration 4 mission. It was the first all-civilian crew to reach orbit. The 4 passengers spent 3 days circling Earth. It was a major milestone for space tourism. Boeing is working on its own spacecraft. It's called the CST-100 Starliner. Like SpaceX's Crew Dragon, it's designed to carry astronauts to the ISS. But Boeing also sees potential for space tourism. They're exploring ways to use Starliner for civilian trips to space. Both SpaceX and Boeing are pushing the boundaries of space travel. They're making it safer and more reliable. Section 7, Safety First, ensuring passenger security in space. Safety is paramount in space tourism. Space is an unforgiving environment. The risks are real. Companies must ensure their passengers' safety. This is a major challenge for the industry. Space travel involves intense forces. During launch, passengers experience several times the force of gravity. In space, the lack of gravity can cause disorientation, and re-entry puts stress on both vehicle and passengers. Companies must design their spacecraft to handle these conditions. Training is also crucial. Space tourists can't just buy a ticket and hop on board. They need preparation. This includes physical conditioning. It also involves learning emergency procedures. Most companies provide several days of training before launch. Then there's the issue of space debris. Section 8. The price tag of space travel. Space tourism isn't cheap. Not yet, anyway. Current prices are out of reach for most people. But they're dropping. And companies are working to make space travel more affordable. Virgin Galactic's tickets cost $250,000. Blue Origin hasn't announced prices, but they're likely in a similar range. Orbital trips are much more expensive. SpaceX's Inspiration 4 mission reportedly costs $200 million. That's about $50 million per seat. These high prices limit the market. Only the very wealthy can afford space tourism right now. But companies are banking on prices falling. As technology improves, costs should come down. More frequent flights will help too. Economies of scale could make space travel more affordable. Some companies are exploring alternative models. Section 9. Physical demands. Are you fit for space? Space travel isn't just expensive, it's physically demanding too. Not everyone is cut out for it, at least not yet. Companies must ensure their passengers can handle the rigors of spaceflight. The launch is intense. Passengers experience several times the force of gravity. This can be hard on the body, especially for older individuals or those with health issues. In space, the lack of gravity causes problems too. It can lead to motion sickness. It can cause muscle and bone loss over time. Companies have different fitness requirements. Some are stricter than others. Virgin Galactic, for example, doesn't have strict age limits. But passengers must be in good health. They must be able to climb several flights of stairs quickly. They need to handle the G-forces of launch and re-entry. Training helps prepare tourists for these challenges. It includes physical conditioning. Section 10. Environmental concerns and space tourism. As space tourism grows, so do environmental concerns. Rocket launches have an impact on our planet. They release emissions into the upper atmosphere. This could contribute to climate change. It's a growing area of research and debate. Some rockets use cleaner fuels than others. Blue Origin's New Shepard, for example, burns hydrogen and oxygen. This produces mainly water vapor. But other rockets use fuels that are more polluting, and all rockets produce some level of emissions. There's also the issue of space debris. More launches mean more potential for junk in orbit. This could create problems for satellites and future space missions. Companies are working on solutions. Reusable rockets help. They reduce the amount of material left in space. Section 11. A new perspective: how space tourism could change humanity. Space tourism isn't just about thrill-seeking. It's not just a joyride for the wealthy. It has the potential to change humanity, to shift our perspective, to alter our understanding of our place in the universe. Astronauts often speak of the overview effect. It's a cognitive shift that happens when you see Earth from space. Our planet looks small, fragile. There are no borders visible from space, just one united world against the vastness of the cosmos. This view can be profound, life-changing. As more people experience this view, it could change society. It might foster a greater sense of global unity, a stronger desire to protect our planet. It could inspire new solutions to global problems. After all, seeing Earth's fragility firsthand is powerful. Space tourism could also drive technological innovation. The quest to make space travel safer and more affordable will lead to new discoveries. These could have applications on Earth. The space race of the 1960s gave us many technologies we use today. Space tourism could do the same.